Azithromycin versus Doxycycline for Urogenital Chlamydia trachomastic infection. Background: Urogenital Chlamydia trachomastic infection remains prevalent and causes substantial reproductive morbidity. Recent studies have raised concern about the efficacy of azithromycin for the treatment of chlamydia infection.
And transfer RNA, tRNA. In order for the bacteria to begin protein synthesis, the double-stranded DNA molecule must first unwind and separate
the specific protein that is to be made. Only one strand of the DNA serves as a template for this process known as transcription. Transcription results in the formation of messenger RNA, and unwind and separate double-stranded DNA molecule transfer RNA, and transfer RNA, tRNA. In order for the bacteria to begin protein synthesis, the double-stranded DNA molecule must first unwind and separate in the region which codes for the specific protein that is to be made. Only one strand of the DNA serves as a template for this process known as transcription. Transcription results in the formation of messenger RNA, mRNA, which is a mirror copy of the DNA segment. Once the strand of mRNA is complete, it will detach from the DNA template and in turn become attached to ribosomes. Bacterial ribosomes are made of a small 30S and a large 50S subunit. After the two subunits join together around the strand of mRNA, synthesis of the polypeptide chain begins. This step involves the aligning of transfer RNA, tRNA molecules, and sequence along the mRNA. Each tRNA carries a unique amino acid determined by the sequence of the tRNA, which, when aligned along the mRNA and ribosome, join together to form the polypeptide chain. This step is known as translation. The ribosome will continue to add amino acids to the growing polypeptide chain until it reaches a point along the mRNA that signals it to stop. At this point, it releases the finished protein molecule. Macrolide antibiotics, such as Azithromycin, act as inhibitors of protein synthesis by attaching to the 50S ribosomal subunit. As a result, they block the ability of the ribosome to synthesize the polypeptide chain.
Methods: we conduct a randomized trial comparing oral azithromycin with the doxycycline for the treatment of urogenital chlamydia infection among adolescents in dose correctional facilities to evaluate the non-inferiority of azithromycin to doxycycline. The treatment was directly observed. The primary endpoint was the treatment failure at 28 days after treatment initiation, with treatment and failure determined on the basics of nucleic acids amplifications testing, the sexual story and outer membrane protein A phenotyping of C. trachomastic substrain.
Doxycycline and azithromycin. Effective chlamydia. Chlamydia is a health condition.
Chlamydia is a health condition that is caused by Chlamydia trachomatis, and while it is
Also,
sexually transmitted,
further means sexually active individuals are at a higher risk of developing this health conditions than those who are not sexually active. Symptoms of chlamydia include rectal discharge, testicular tenderness, and a burning sensation during urination. Only 30% of women notice any symptoms. Symptoms of chlamydia in women include painful sexual intercourse, rectal pain, vaginal discharge, burning sensation, urination, and symptoms of hepatitis. The diagnosis of this health condition involves sampling of the urethral discharge in males and cervical secretions in females. In case an individual has anal sex, samples from the rectum may be needed. Some tests are also performed on urine samples. Generally, the treatment for chlamydia is antibiotics, and this includes erythromycin, azithromycin, and tetracyclines. You can contract chlamydia with syphilis or gonorrhea. This means that you can get this disease if you have any other sexually transmitted disease. It is important that you get yourself checked from time to time if you have any sexually transmitted disease. When an individual is found suffering from chlamydia, all of her sexual contact. If a woman has chlamydia during pregnancy, the infant can develop conjunctivitis that is chlamydia-related and also chlamydia pneumonia. Azithromycin is used for the treatment of chlamydia. Azithromycin is also used for the treatment of Lyme disease and other infections. Azithromycin should be taken with a full glass of water. Azithromycin comes in the form of an oral suspension or as a tablet that needs to be taken by mouth. It is generally taken without food once a day for a period of 5 days. You can take this medication once or twice a day depending on the severity of your outbreak. Doxycycline. Doxycycline is used for the treatment of bacterial infections such as pneumonia and other respiratory tract infections. Doxycycline works by preventing the growth and spread of bacteria. Doxycycline needs to be taken once or twice a day with a full glass of water. This medication comes in the form of a regular coated capsule, syrup, a tablet, or suspension liquid. All are oral forms. Take it at the same time every day, so instructions given on the label so that you get the best results. Always consult a doctor before taking any medication for the treatment of chlamydia. Only a good doctor can help you decide if the medication is right for you or not. Just because a medication works on your friend, relative, or family member does not mean that it will
right for you or not. Just because a medication works on your friend, relative, or family member
Results.
does not mean that it will
Among the 567 participants enrolled, 284 with randomly assigned to receive azithromycin, and 283 were randomly assigned to receive doxycycline. A total of 155 participants in each treatment group made up the pure protocol population. There were no treatment failure in the doxycycline group. The azithromycin group treatment failure occurred in 5 participants.
Cloak. This can tell us a little bit about it. The cloaked organism lacks ceramic acid in its cell wall, which makes it practically invisible to gram seeing. It can be better seen using a Giemsa stain. I also think about cloaking in terms of its place in infected hosts, mainly that it remains in cytoplasmic inclusion bodies, which can be seen on tissue culture. Chlamydia, I like to remember as like the girl's name, Amy, which is in chlamydia. It's helped me remember some more things about the organism. Mainly that she's an EV. She's an obligate intracellular organism who can't make her ATP. Who else is another girl? Marie. Marie is another girl's name, and she belongs with Amy. She's a friend of Amy and a friend of Dorothy. MAR. That says to me metabolically active reticulate body. A also helps, just the letter A also helps me remember about axonal organization, which allows uptake of the organism via endocytosis. the RNR part also helps me remember reticulate body being replicative, be efficient. INE, that says to me infectious elementary body. These letters also help me remember a few other things. I can also stand for inhibit, as in inhibiting the fusion of the endocytic vacuole and the lysosome. And you can contrast that with the GLA. Now, rhinitis, you can get vaginitis, and then neonatal disease via the birth canal. That's how I remember G and K. Then finally you have L1, L2, and L3 causing lymphogranuloma venerea, which is a sexually transmitted infection of lymphatics, often leading to swollen tenderloin lymph nodes. Now, an HLA-B27 associated reactive arthritis, sometimes following genital infection. C stands for conjunctivitis, U stands for urethritis, and P stands for pelvic inflammatory disease. And these are basically what chlamydia, the disease that chlamydia causes. That is it. I hope you find this video useful, and I'd appreciate any feedback that you might have. Have a wonderful day, and if you see me in public and you didn't like this video, feel free to slap me in the face on the spot.
Have a wonderful day, and if you see me in public and you didn't like this video,
the observed difference in failure rates between treatment groups was 3.2 percentage points, with an upper boundary of the 90% confidence interval of 5.9 percentage points, which exceed the pre-specified absolute 5 percentage point cutoff for the establishing the non-inferiority of azithromycin. Conclusions. In the context of a closed population receiving directly observed treatment for urogenital chlamydia infection, the efficacy of azithromycin was 97%, and the efficacy of Doxycycline was 100%. The non-inferiority of azithromycin was not established in the setting. Thank you.